My name is Gus Olson. I've been meeting and flirting with women in real life for 11 years, and today I'm going to talk about a psychological mechanism that keeps guys stuck in their miserable dating lives and doesn't allow them to improve. Chances are, if you're struggling in your dating life right now, it is as a direct result of this psychological mechanism. So it's important that you know this and you also know how to fix it. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what it is, give you the 3 most common examples of how it manifests in your dating life, and also tell you how to reframe them and how to fix them. So this psychological mechanism, it's called coping. And coping happens is when you have a painful situation and instead of looking at it honestly, you actually rationalize it away and you avoid looking at the uncomfortable truth because you don't want to make yourself feel bad. And a lot of people don't do this consciously, they do this subconsciously because coping allows you to feel better in the short term without actually changing anything. That is why people do it. But of course, as I said, it doesn't actually fix the problem, and in the long term, you're still miserable. And now I'll give you the 3 most common ways of how guys cope in their miserable dating lives. So the first cope is the external cope. This is when guys say that they cannot have a good dating life because of their looks, because of their city, because of their finances. Essentially, it's because of some sort of external factor that either they cannot take care of it or they cannot really take care of it easily. But essentially the problem is not themselves. The problem is someone else. Now, obviously this makes you feel better because you're like, well, that's not my fault. I mean, it's just the women here. They don't care about me. They only care about money. Or, well, I'm super short. I cannot date girls if I'm a short guy. Like, women don't like me and I cannot change anything about my height. And the way you address this hope is you ask this key question. Has anyone else succeeded in dating life with my sets of circumstances? So if you're a short guy, have there been cases where there are other short guys that have succeeded and dated amazing women? If you're a guy living in a conservative country and think all women want is your money, have there been other guys like you that are not rich in your country that have managed to date beautiful, amazing women? And usually when you ask questions like this, no matter what your condition is, you'll find out that there are other guys with your exact conditions that made it work. By logic, if they made it work, you can make it work too. So this cope actually is false. And that means that you can improve your dating life. You can date amazing, beautiful women, but there's something you need to change, and probably need to change your behavior and what you do. Now, obviously, some conditions are harder than others, but it doesn't mean that you cannot change it. It's not impossible. You're just gonna have to get a little bit uncomfortable. You have to take a lot of action, but you'll be able to do it. Now, the second cope is, well, at least it's not that bad cope. This is when guys say things like, oh, well, my dating life isn't great, but at least I'm not a total loser. Or, well, I'm not dating the women that I want, but at least I'm dating some girls. And again, this is a very dangerous cope because essentially it keeps your dating life mediocre. It doesn't allow you to improve because you're just saying, well, I'm fine with however I am. I'm fine with this mediocrity. I'm fine with not dating the women that I want to date. So if you say that to yourself, then you're obviously not going to improve in your dating life. And again, part of the reason is that guys believe that they cannot improve their dating lives, hence they end up saying things to themselves to make themselves feel better, but it's not the case. You can obviously improve, you can have an amazing dating life, you can date women that you want to date, and here's how you can reframe the cope. So imagine you're traveling to Paris. You land in the airport, and for the entirety of your trip, 1 week or 2 weeks, all you do is you stay at the Paris airport with their terrible Wi-Fi, and you're just there for 2 weeks in an airport, and then you fly back home. Well, were you in Paris? Technically, you were in Paris. You visited Paris, but you actually didn't go and enjoy the city. You didn't go and see the Eiffel Tower. You didn't go and taste the amazing food, and you didn't go and meet the amazing women. So were you in Paris? Yes, but did you actually enjoy your experience? And was it like a fun, cool experience? No. And it would seem ridiculous to just stay at the airport when you're going to visit Paris, but this is exactly how guys are in their dating lives. They just stick with the bare minimum, and they can say, at least I dated some women, even if they didn't like the girl, and the girl didn't like them, and it was just like a terrible day, or at least you had sex, like I got laid, but you didn't enjoy the sex, it was terrible, you weren't really attracted to the girl anyways, and you didn't want to text her the next day. This is what you're doing. You're literally just going to the Paris and being at the airport. What is the point of that? There's no point to do that. So you gotta elevate your standards. You gotta strive for more. You cannot settle for mediocrity, because if you settle for mediocrity, you're gonna have a miserable dating life, and most importantly, you're not gonna have amazing dating life because you're literally telling yourself, I'm fine with mediocrity, I'm fine with average, I'm fine with getting the bare minimum. You cannot be fine with getting the bare minimum. You have to strive for more. And finally, the third cope, which might be even the most dangerous cope of them all, is the time will fix it cope. It's when guys say things like, well, my dating life sucks right now, but I just know that things will just happen eventually. I'll figure it out eventually. And this is an extremely dangerous mindset to have, an extremely dangerous cope to have, because this is exactly the same reason why guys have been stuck in the dating lives for 1 year, for 3 years, for 10 years, for 20 years. It's because they think that the time will fix itself. But honestly, you have to ask yourself, If time would be the only thing that is required for you to fix your dating life, why hasn't it already been fixed? But you have to be honest, time by itself will not just fix things. There are guys 10, 15, 20 years, they're miserable, alone, struggling dating lives, and they're still in the same position that they were before, or even worse. Like, time actually makes things bad if you don't do anything about it. So time itself doesn't fix things. Taking action, that's what fixes things. And once you take action repeatedly, that's when time starts to help you, because you're taking action and each day you're getting better. But if you're not doing anything, time on itself will not fix things. Things will not just happen naturally. If you're waiting for this Hollywood moment where you see this girl and she's getting robbed and you save her from the robbers, and then she's like, oh my God, thank you, you saved me. And she falls in love with you just because you saved her from the bank robbery. You can hope for that Hollywood movie moment, but that is not going to happen realistically. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to rely on luck and you want to wait for this once in a million probability that you just see that girl and she sees you and it's the love from first sight and you just stay forever and ever from that one moment? Probably it's not going to happen. And the thing is, like, it hasn't happened so far, it's probably not going to happen unless you change something. Again, the uncomfortable truth here is that you won't change, your dating life won't change unless you change your beliefs, unless you change your behaviors. So you have to change. You have to start taking massive amounts of action if you want to improve your dating life. So these were the 3 most common copes that guys have as far as their dating life goes. And there are a lot more copes, but the biggest thing here is that you need to look at your situation honestly. You need to look in the mirror. You need to face the music. You need to face the truth. And you need to address the situation. You cannot rationalize it away, because if you keep rationalizing, if you keep blaming someone else, keep thinking, oh, it's the time, thinking it's just going to happen, then you will stay stuck. And again, the problem is that you can say these things to yourself and it feels good in the moment, but in the long term, it feels really bad. It's just like watching porn. In the moment, you solve your problem for 5 minutes, but then 20 or 30 minutes after, you're still lonely, you're still depressed, and now you're even more depressed because you're just doing nothing about your situation. You need to step up. You need to address the situation, and you cannot lie to yourself any longer. You can lie to others, you can lie to other strangers, but you cannot lie to yourself, because you know ultimately if you are lying to yourself. Finally, I'm happy to make these videos and to be your personal wingman, completely for free. But on this channel, we have something that's called Wingman's Pact. And all you gotta do to abide by the Wingman's Pact is to subscribe to the channel, to support me, your wingman, to keep these videos coming. Obviously, I'm not gonna check under your bed. I'm not gonna check if you do this, but this is a pact and I trust that you're gonna do this so I can keep more of these videos coming. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.